Payday hits your account like you just hunted down a mammoth. For about 12 hours, you feel like the richest caveman in the tribe. Then comes Friday night. You worked hard this week, so you deserve that dinner out. Saturday morning, you earned that fancy coffee. Sunday afternoon, those new shoes are basically survival gear. By Tuesday morning at 4:31, you're checking your bank app and staring at $73 wondering where the entire mammoth went. Your primitive brain just turned your financial security into smoke, and it's using the exact same survival instinct that kept your ancestors alive 10,000 years ago. In this financial education about money management and spending behavior, you're about to discover why rewarding yourself is actually the most expensive habit draining your paycheck. By the end, you'll understand the exact brain mechanism sabotaging your savings and the proven strategy to protect your income from this primitive money leak. Here's what actually happens inside your caveman brain every single payday. When money hits your account, your limbic system floods with dopamine, the same chemical cavemen got when they found food after days of hunting. Your brain doesn't see a paycheck as future security. It sees immediate resources that must be consumed now before they disappear. This made perfect sense when food spoiled in 3 days and other tribes could steal your supplies. Consume everything immediately meant survival. But here's the problem. That same wiring is still running your financial decisions in a world where money doesn't spoil and nobody's raiding your bank account. Every time you tell yourself you deserve a reward for working hard, your primitive brain translates that as permission to consume resources immediately. The stress you feel from work triggers your fight or flight response, which then demands instant relief through spending. You're not making a budget decision. You're following a 10,000-year-old survival protocol that treats every paycheck like perishable mammoth meat. Most financial advice tells you to budget better or track your spending, but that's fighting against biology with willpower, and your caveman brain always wins that battle. The real issue isn't discipline. It's that you're trying to manage modern money with Stone Age instincts designed for immediate consumption. Now here's the layer most people never see. Your reward spending isn't random. It follows a specific pattern controlled by 3 primitive brain systems working together. First, your amygdala detects stress from work and labels it as a threat to survival. Second, your limbic system remembers that spending money produced temporary relief in the past. Third, your prefrontal cortex, the part that should stop you, gets completely shut down when stress hormones flood your system. This happens automatically, usually within seconds of feeling that paycheck hit your account. Think about the last time you got paid. You probably felt immediate pressure to treat yourself, right? That pressure is your amygdala screaming that you survived another hunt and must reward yourself before resources vanish. The harder your work week, the louder that scream becomes. A stressful meeting feels like fighting off a predator. Finishing a big project feels like bringing down a mammoth. Your brain demands celebration through consumption because that's exactly what kept your ancestors alive. But here's what your primitive brain doesn't understand. Modern stress isn't life-threatening, and modern money doesn't expire. When you spend your way out of work stress, you're solving a fake emergency by creating a real financial crisis. That $73 left in your account by Tuesday isn't a budget failure. It's your caveman brain treating your entire paycheck like a victory feast that must be eaten immediately, even though the feast costs you the security you actually need to survive the next 30 days. The average person spending to relieve work stress burns through 28% of their income on purchases they regret within a week. That's not a character flaw. That's primitive neurology hijacking your modern financial life. Let me show you exactly what this costs in actual survival terms your caveman brain can understand. Connor, 33, warehouse supervisor making $3,400 a month, married 4 years with a 2-year-old daughter. Every payday, the pattern was identical. Friday at 6:47 in the evening, bank notification hits. By Saturday at 2:15 in the afternoon, he'd already spent $420 on reward purchases. Dinner out because he worked 53 hours that week. New sneakers because his feet hurt from standing on concrete. Video game because he barely saw his daughter all week and felt guilty. Each purchase felt justified in the moment. The thought running through his head at the checkout every time was always the same. I earned this. And technically, he did earn the money. But what he didn't see was the invisible leak those reward purchases created in his financial foundation. By day 19 of every month, Connor would check his account at 11:32 at night, see $89 remaining, and feel his chest tighten with the same panic his ancestors felt when winter came early and food ran out. His wife would notice him staring at his phone at 3:18 in the morning, shoulders tensed, jaw clenched. She'd ask what was wrong, he'd say nothing, but they both knew. The reward habit wasn't rewarding him, it was bankrupting him in slow motion, one justified purchase at a time. Then Connor's daughter got sick. Urgent care visit. Antibiotics. $360 his savings account didn't have because for 60 straight months, he'd been feeding his primitive reward response instead of protecting against actual emergencies. He took out a credit card cash advance at 24% interest, which meant the $420 he spent rewarding himself every payday now cost him an extra $800 in interest over the next year. His caveman brain celebrated surviving the work week. His modern life just went deeper into financial quicksand. Here's what changed. Connor started speaking his primitive brain's actual language. Instead of fighting the reward instinct, he redirected it. Every payday before anything else, he transferred $280 into a separate savings account he labeled Winter Protection. Not an emergency fund. Winter Protection. His caveman brain understood protecting resources for harsh times better than it understood abstract concepts like emergency funds. Within 90 days, he had $840 saved. His wife noticed he stopped checking his phone at 3 in the morning. By month 6, they had $3,000 in winter protection. Connor still rewarded himself, but now he budgeted $150 in actual reward money after winter protection was secured. His primitive brain got the celebration it demanded, but only after survival resources were protected first. The shift wasn't about willpower. It was about working with his biology instead of against it. So here's exactly what you do, now that you understand how your primitive reward response is sabotaging your money. This isn't about eliminating rewards. That triggers your brain's extinction burst response, where it rebels even harder against restriction. This is about redirecting your reward instinct toward actual survival behavior using the same dopamine pathways. Step 1, the day before payday, assign every single dollar a survival job, not a budget category, a survival job. Shelter protection, rent or mortgage, food gathering, groceries, tribe security, utilities and insurance, winter storage, savings. Your caveman brain respects resource allocation for survival way more than it respects abstract financial planning. Write these assignments down physically because your primitive brain trusts what it can see and touch more than digital numbers. Step 2, the moment your paycheck deposits, execute the survival plan immediately. Transfer your winter protection money first, before your reward instinct can activate. This has to happen within the first hour of deposit, because your primitive brain's reward response peaks in the first 60 minutes after seeing new resources. After 1 hour, that impulse to consume immediately starts losing power. Automate this transfer if possible, removing the decision entirely from your conscious brain. Step 3, budget actual reward money, but make it the last allocation, not the first. Your primitive brain needs to see that survival resources are protected before it gets celebration privileges. Set aside a specific dollar amount for guilt-free spending on whatever relieves your work stress. Make it realistic. If you only budget $20 but your stress demands $200, your caveman brain will revolt and spend the full $200 anyway, just stealing it from winter protection to do it. Better to budget $150 and actually stick to it than budget $20 and blow past it every single time. Step 4, When the reward urge hits between paydays, ask your primitive brain one question. Does this purchase protect my survival or celebrate survival I haven't secured yet? If you're spending reward money after protecting winter storage, your brain sees it as legitimate celebration. If you're spending from winter protection to reward current stress, your brain knows you're stealing from future survival, which triggers deeper anxiety even as you're trying to relieve stress. The guilt you feel after those reward purchases isn't moral failure. It's your survival instinct recognizing you just made yourself less safe. This strategy works because it doesn't fight your biology, it redirects it. Your caveman brain still gets rewards, celebration, and stress relief. But now those rewards come after survival resources are protected, not instead of them. Within 30 days, you'll notice something strange. The reward urge gets quieter. Not gone, just quieter. That's because your primitive brain starts recognizing that resources are actually secure, which reduces the panic response, driving the immediate consumption instinct in the first place. Everything changes when you stop treating your paycheck like a victory feast and start treating it like winter preparation. Your primitive brain is never going to stop demanding rewards for surviving the work week. That instinct is hardwired deeper than conscious thought. But you can teach it the difference between celebration that protects your tribe and consumption that leaves you exposed when emergencies strike. Most people spend their entire lives wondering why they can't save money despite working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. The answer isn't laziness or lack of discipline. It's that they're fighting a 10,000-year-old survival mechanism with modern advice that ignores how the human brain actually works. You can't budget your way past biology, but you can work with your primitive instincts instead of against them. Think about what your life looks like when winter protection is secured. No more 3 in the morning panic checking your bank app. No more choosing between paying rent on time or buying groceries. No more credit card debt from emergencies your savings should have covered. Your reward habit doesn't disappear. It just stops bankrupting you because it happens after survival, not instead of it. The video on screen now shows you the next financial survival strategy using the same primitive brain principles. And if you found your exact reward leak and you're ready to protect your winter storage starting next paycheck, comment "Fire secured" below. Your caveman brain is listening.